What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Bear NecessiTCG, and today we are going to be taking a first look at Grimpath, a new TCG slash miniature hybrid that is coming to Kickstarter next month. So links will be in the description for their main website plus the Kickstarter if you want to find more information about the game. In a nutshell, it just mixes TCG elements with miniature elements on an actual 3D game board. So it's something that's going to be new, fresh, and exciting. I've only seen one card so far. The art looked phenomenal. So in this video, we're going to be just taking a closer look at the card, seeing the anatomy of it, the artwork, just overall first impressions. Again, this is going in the Kickstarter phase, so there's a lot of things that the creator is going to be ironing out as far as gameplay, balance, card designs, packaging, things like that. So again, if you want to show your support, head over to the Kickstarter. It's going to start next month. So let's start taking a look. First, I want to say thank you. They did send me these for a review, and I will be opening the actual the pack in another video, but that is not the final packaging that they're going to do. This is just for a Kickstarter kind of mock-up. Also sent some dice with the Grimpath logo there, and what looks like a goblin wizard. So I know they're trying to decide between if they want to do miniatures like this, you know, your standard, or they want to do something that's more of a kind of thinner die cut, because packaging miniatures in a starter deck, you know, it can get expensive. But for example, maybe something like this, obviously smaller to fit into the grids and move around, but something like this would be nice. Again, they are still planning this out. Nothing is set in stone yet. So let's grab it and get it open. Oh no, plastic. My weakness. I don't have a knife. I just have teeth, and I don't want to be gnawing on the side of this. All right, there we go. Got it open. So I was sent this pre-made Warband. Anyway, and also that is the kind of sneak peek of the art. Looks really nice. And it is the Cult of the Brood. And I'll just read this off to you right now, because there's a lot of lore to the game that they're fleshing out right now. In a time eclipsed by darkness, a ruined fortress still stands, gnarled and haunted, once a proud symbol of power, now surrendered to the shadow's touch. Its mighty ramparts, once bustling with vigilant soldiers, are now overrun with crawling horrors and dreadful enchanters. Spiders, legion in number and monstrous in size, weave their wicked webs amidst the stone and iron. Within the heart of this infested fortress, necromancers have found a home, their sinister chants echoing through the hollowed halls. Their loyalty sworn not to the fading memory of a once glorious realm, but to a tyrannical queen, a warlord of spiders and shadows. The fortress is no longer of stone and steel, but of dread and despair, eerie whispers and clattering chitters. So, a fun little lore on the back there. And I'm curious to see how they're going to flesh that out when the game first arrives. So let's look at the card backs first of all. Again, this is the first time that I'm seeing this. So nice design going on here. I'm going to say nice a lot, but it takes me a while to formulate some opinions. So let's start from the top. So it looks like my warband is going to be, spiders, necromancers, undead, things like that, which I really like. So we have our first card, Skeleton. Looks like we're having one attack and then one life. So kind of reminds me of Diablo a little bit, how they have those the kind of the vials for life in your magic. Raise the Dead. It looks like we have our casting costs up here. Not sure how to play yet. I haven't read through the rules. I'm hoping to get my hands on another pre-made deck that I can play someone with and really give a review about what I think of the gameplay in general, because I don't really play miniature games like Warhammer, because I'm more of a TCG player, and the collectability, the random packs, things like that. So, and there's a lot of dice in Warhammer, so I haven't really latched on and found one. So this might be a good entry point for people like me. So if you're the type that is interested, but you don't want the full on build, hundreds and hundreds of dollars of army, roll like 50 dice at once, this might be a good alternative. So Raise the Dead, recruit 3 1/1 tokens. So these skeletons that we're looking at look like they were just tokens. Slick and Slide. We have a little bit of just regular card game terminology. It looks like you would be tapping to use these things. It is a shadow influence. It is a movement. And that's something that this game is going to provide that's a little different, because with Magic and One Piece, Digimon, all that stuff, you have your characters on your board and you just attack. You just move them and say, hey, I'm attacking either your other creature or you're attacking the person themselves. In this game, you have to move and position all of your I'm not sure if they're called characters or creatures, but you have to move them around the map. If they're hiding behind a door or a big rock and you don't have line of sight, you will not be able to attack them with normal weapons like a bow. So it adds a layer of tactics with the movement. A mini may take up to 2 steps, or it may take up to 5 steps. If it does, put a cooldown counter on it unless it's a slime. So it looks like slimes just don't get tired. That is interesting. Carried by the Dead, have the mini take 2 steps. If it's a shadow mini, it may take an additional step. So we have our movement cards here. Move a shadow minion you control next to your warlord. So you will have a warlord, your main commander, let's say. So it's kind of like commander in Magic. And I'm going to make a lot of references to other games, because at this point, TCGs kind of, they borrowed from each other, and a lot of them are very similar. But this does have its own feel already, from what I heard, its own characteristics. It is a game that can set itself apart as opposed to just a clone. I know a lot of people might be thinking of Sorcery, for example, because it's very similar, but Sorcery doesn't have minis and things to go with it. So you can't hide behind walls or do anything like that. So time will tell how this will branch off from the other games like Sorcery. We have a shadow spell, Necromancy. Deal 2 damage to any target in your warlord's line of sight. See, that's where it's going to become very critical that you position your warlords and your creatures effectively before you start unleashing hell on them with spells. Fingertips. It is a relic. It's a claw. So I know relics and items and things like that, they can be dropped. So if you have a dagger, for example, and you can throw that dagger, you'll throw it and it'll drop on the ground near him. Makes sense. Realistic. Someone else can go and pick it up. But pick up 2. Add 1 bonus damage to your next attack with Fingertips. Dragged into the shadow. Initiative Necromancy. Move a target non-shadow minion next to a shadow minion you control. All right, so it's like a way of hooking them closer to you. Death Stare. Initiative Mentalism. Attach Death Stare to an exhausted minion, then set a stun counter to 2 on it. Destroy Death Stare when there are no counters on it. Okay. Blood for Blood. Put a minion from your discard pile into your hand. If an ally died this turn, put it into play instead. And now we are to the... Okay, not creatures. Not spirits. They look like they are going to be minions. So you're going to command your minion. Your warlord is going to command your minions. And I have a Venomancer here. Venomancer has dash. It may take 2 steps. For each step it takes. It just reminds me of like creepy little spiders that just run at you. Shadowmancer, our Shadow Minion Necromancer. Tap it to summon a 1/1 token, and then have Shadowmancer pay 1 health. I'm assuming health sticks with you throughout. Unlike other games like Magic, where once it turns over, it goes back up to full health. And I would imagine that would make sense for a game like this, as you're moving pieces around a board, that damage would stick. Shadowlight Sentry, ranged 6. She is a sniper, but I don't know what that means. Range 6, as far as my assumption is you'll be able to shoot 6 squares away. But remember, this is just to look over the cards. First initial impressions. I'll get the rule book. I'll get another deck. I'll play it, and then, what I'm saying will make more sense and be more accurate. We have a priest. Prevent 1 damage from being dealt to another minion you control. And a severed serpent. After recruiting severed serpent, have it pay X health to summon that many 1/1 undead tokens next to it. I wonder if there's a cap on that. Can only be 1 per like movement square. Haste. Shadow Assassin may enter the play next to an exhausted mini. Twilight Emissary. Draw a card on a Twilight Emissary enters and exits play. And a Slurp Slime. I don't know why I got excited over that, but I remember in an old D&D book that I had, they had a picture of a slime, and inside of it was just like armor and skeletons and all that, and I thought it was probably one of the coolest things. When Slurp Slime destroys a relic, it gains 1 health. Whenever Slurp Slime shares a space with a relic, destroy that relic. That's an interesting card to have. I'm not sure if they're going to be running around with a lot of relics on the field, but I'm sure someone will make that. It'll be a relic deck where most of them are items and less minions running around. Brood Witch the Webwrath. When a minion in your Warband dies, exhaust Brood Witch, put a 1/1 minion token into play where it is standing. Looks like we have 1 attack and 12 life. And then we have our Glue Trap, which is another slime. So, slimes remind me of Dragon Warrior too. If anyone played Dragon Warrior on NES, I used to love that game. I never beat it, but I was really young, so I was just running around, just killing slimes, leveling up. Let's see. Attach a minion you control that dies next to Glue Trap. To Glue Trap, destroy an attached minion, prevent 1 damage from being dealt to Glue Trap. And so that is my pre-con deck right here. I want to take a closer look at some of these cards here. For example, the Warlord, because I'm not sure what any of this means yet. It has 2 right here. I believe Warlords just start out in play. I'm going to have to find a little more info on that. And at the bottom, we have card 9 of 45 so far. Copyright deck tag, 2023 Grimpath. And then we have the artist in the lower right. So it looks like Nate Artez did these. Oleski. But right now it's a small group. It's still in the Kickstarter, or getting to be in the Kickstarter phase. So as they expand, more artists, I'm sure, will come on board. But the artists that they have, the few ones that they have do amazing work. There's a theme. Theme's not the right word. It's almost like there's a standard of quality that these 2 artists that I'm seeing so far, 3 artists there, 4 artists there. The select few are really, even though they're different artists, it all matches. Even this one from Logan Pike, the art right here, even though it's not as realistic as Nate's, it still fits. It still looks like it comes from the same card game, and I appreciate that, because sometimes art in Kickstarting TCGs are all over the place, or it's all done by one person doing all of them. So it's kind of like, well, it's a little too much, too much of the same. I think right now they have a good base. So Grimpath right now has a good idea behind it. Get some minis, and TCG. So you still have the packs to open, the randomness of a TCG, and it has the maneuverability of a actual a miniature game, and the randomness and all this. So I think together, as long as they keep striving to get better and keep the quality that they have up, then I think Grimpath will be, it'll have a really bright future ahead of itself. And because this is a glimpse of what one man did to start creating this game. Yes, I'm sure he had people to bounce ideas off and people that are helping him, but the game is really being developed by that one person. And if you want to find more about the creator of Grimpath, there is an interview in the description for that video also, where they go back and forth and ask questions about the game, how it was made, future of Grimpath, Kickstarter, just all around questions. That's a good video. Go ahead and watch that. And in the comments, just let me know what you think. Do you like the idea of a TCG mixed with the miniatures, or would you rather just stick with one or the other? Personally, I think there is a market for this hybrid, and no one has solidified it yet. So I have very high hopes that Grimpath will do it. But that is a nice, easy, quick sneak peek of the cards, the game. And again, if you want to show your support, hit up the Kickstarter in the description. And with all that being said, I will catch everyone next time.